The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
This is Haymaker Combat Sports. Here, coming straight from the source. Only with the real, they ain't here to dress it up. Sweet science, MMA, you can get it all from us. Trust, 5 stars cause it's live. And through the fight game, we can guide ya. Slick talking, putting them in caution. Passing all the guards cause the audio is awesome. What you waiting for? Spread the word, tell a friend. This the podcast where all of the discussion ends. When they start going strike for strike, this the show that'll tell you what you seen in the fight. They ain't playing on the mic, this a welcome to the show. Warm it up for the squad, Haymaker of the bros. I'm a bow wow, you can hear it from the pros. It's Haymaker Combat Sports, time to roll.
Welcome back to Haymaker Combat Sports, powered by the Belly Up Sports Media Network. I'm your host, EJ Reed, joined by my fellow hosts, Steve Johnson, Chris Sanders. What's good, fellas?
Good morning. Good morning.
And happy Father's Day to everybody. We're recording on a Sunday. This probably won't get released till like Monday or Tuesday, but happy Father's Day for everybody celebrating it this weekend. Happy Father's Day to Steve. Do anything special today, Steve?
Nothing planned. Maybe I don't know if they don't surprise me. I'm not expecting it, but just lay back and enjoy family, basically.
That's what's up, man. And what's been your most exciting Father's Day, if you can recall?
Well, I can't recall a specific one. I mean, it's usually the same. Quite honestly, they're not so celebrated, like Mother's Day, but they show appreciation, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, it seems like the fellas don't get the same type of love as the mothers do on Mother's Day, but I mean, I feel like they're probably running in together now. You've been a father for a while now, so they probably, the years running together at this point, right?
Yeah.
That's what's up, though. But like I said, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. But we're going to talk a little boxing today, and like we always do with these shows, we'll start off with news stories inside and outside of the ring, and this one is an outside of the ring story. I don't know, did y'all see this, fellas? Boxing star Ryan Garcia was arrested on Saturday and charged with felony vandalism by Beverly Hills Police Department after being accused of causing over $15,000 in damages at the Waldorf Astoria, Beverly Hills. It's reported by ESPN. He may be also facing the charge of public intoxication. He was also transferred to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center for evaluation and treatment after complaining about a medical issue once he was in jail. And he also posted on Twitter, he's like, I'm worried I have to be at this weird hospital and they're trying to give me medicine. So I don't know. Did y'all see this story, fellas?
That flew over my radar. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's happened on Saturday. Did you see it, Steve?
I heard of it, but didn't hear the details.
I don't know. It sounds like a mess. What are y'all first thoughts on this? I'll start it for you, Chris.
I mean, come on. I don't know what's up with Ryan, man. I really don't know what's going on with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw this before the fight that he had, a little strange activity that's going on. I just hope he's well. If he is sick or there's some mental health there, I hope he gets the help he needs, of course. But, I don't know what's really going on. I don't know if it's an act. I don't know what's really going on. So, but if it's a cry for help and he needs to get the help that he needs, then I hope that he does. I hope someone looks out for him, and I hope he gets the right treatment that he needs.
Steve, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's crazy. I know maybe different states vary, but like $15,000 of damage, that's felony. And like, it's crazy. I don't know. You can be that rich and just take a felony like it's nothing. That's crazy. And then promoting this the way he was his last fight, and how many people are going to take him seriously, going out in the street and vandalizing to validate anything if he wants to stand for anything. Say if he wants to get in the political area, have a voice, this is like I said, recent, and for really just he disinvalidated his say of anything after these actions he's doing. That's what I think of it. Maybe promoting himself in boxing, making money, but him as a person in society, I don't think it's smart for the actions what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all. Like Chris said, he needs to get the help that he needs, and like Steve was saying, $15,000, that's felony level. That's a lot of damages. I guess when you're that rich, you don't care about property. But I mean, he's what, 25 years old. Do y'all think this is just like a rough patch in his career, or y'all think this is just how he is, and this is a long-term thing as far as his behavior? Because we've seen him have like erratic behavior recently. Y'all think can you just chalk it up to him being young, or you think this is just who he is? I'll start with you, Chris.
This is who he is. I think, you know, now that you get to see him more, we see the eyes are more on him, the camera's more on him. He got more attention. I mean, he always had attention, but now there's more attention on him. This is just now, you know, I don't think he's acting a character. This is just who he is.
Steve, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can say that. You know, I don't know his specific background, but how early he got in the game, if he grew up with money or came into money boxing and created this attitude of, you know, nobody can touch me. And 25 is young, so saying where he was at a point of his career financially, maybe he's out of parental control to be controlled a little bit, to or so to speak, have a handler to look over him, but now he's free. We're seeing sort of like when we were kids and pushed off into society to, you know, be responsible for ourselves. Like Chris said, I think we're seeing that him, who he always was, just in, you know, adult form.
I don't know, man. We've seen it before, and we'll be talking about another guy in the quick hits too that, you know, had a similar behavior issues like that. But as far as Garcia goes, man, maybe like Chris said, maybe this is just him. But we know as he gets older and he keeps acting like this, that his talent won't be able to carry him in the long run. When your skills start to diminish a little bit, and he's gonna lose his blessings. Like we've seen it before with other fighters, and I mean, people will get tired of your BS after you keep doing it for so long. So I hope he just matures and, you know, gets in a better headspace, because he's in a position where a lot of people don't get to, and you would hate to see a young guy like that lose it. But we'll keep an eye out on what happens with him in the future. Like Chris said, he needs to get the help that he needs.
Them lawsuits add up, man.
Yeah,
Lawsuits
exactly.
add up to the bank account. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want him to see. I don't want to see him fighting past his prime, dissipate his bills off. So I hope, you know, I'm sure he got a good financial team around him, hopefully. But you know, just one mistake can change your whole life. So just hopefully he stays out of trouble and, you know, keep it going.
Yeah, I agree with that. I co-sign that. But let's get to some news stories actually inside the ring. So I don't know if we talked about this. We may or may not, but Floyd Mayweather has set the rematch John Gotti III in Mexico City on August 24th of this year. This is a rematch from their June 2023 exhibition. And if y'all recall, that one ended in a brawl. So what are y'all thoughts on this rematch finally being set with Money Mayweather facing off, I guess, a celebrity boxer? I know it's John Gotti is, you know, everybody knows the infamous Gotti family. I didn't realize he boxed until he finally boxed Floyd last year. But what are y'all thoughts on this rematch? I'll start with you, Chris.
Same outcome, same results. You know, nothing changes. Nothing to change from it. I don't think Gotti's gonna do anything spectacular to Floyd in the ring. Floyd's not gonna probably knock out Gotti or nothing like that. It's gonna be the same outcome. You know, but it was fun entertainment. We saw the brawl at the end. You know, people got in the ring and things of that nature. Gotti got a little crazy in there, so it's fun. It's entertaining, and I think they're gonna sell the fight, and it's gonna be good entertainment to watch. If you want to see a fight like that, then it's good entertainment.
Steve, what are your thoughts on this rematch?
Yeah, I could say the same thing. Probably same results. Just storyline is next season. You know what I'm saying? Or on the next episode. And I think that what brings to the fight game also is the storyline behind it, and people, especially that brawl. You know, who doesn't want to see an outcome interaction again after a brawl it was like left on a cliffhanger, reading your best novel and it's on a cliffhanger. So for what it is, and they're making a rematch, I think that's what makes, this story big to even watch.
So the biggest question is, will y'all actually watch it? I'll start with you, Steve.
I would say if there's nothing on that, and it's coming on a Saturday or Sunday.
I don't even know. I don't know when the 24th is. I'm gonna assume it's a Saturday.
Saturday. If it's not overlapping any of my other main combat sports, then I would. But definitely a watch. If I watch any known fighter, if there's nothing on.
Yeah, it's the 24th is a Saturday. I don't know. You gonna check it out, Chris?
I don't really be checking all of that out right there. I'll catch the highlights at the end, but nah, I'll see what happens.
Hey.
It ain't for me. That ain't for me.
Man, no more. I remember Money Mayweather was one of your favorites, Chris.
He still is. He still is. But these don't count against the belt. This don't go against the record. He could lose. He can act like you know what I mean. So it's all for fun right now. You know what I'm saying? But Mayweather ain't gonna lose. I don't see that happening. And I don't see this being a real tough fight for him. I think he could beat him in his sleep, honestly. But it's entertaining on, what Gotti's gonna do. That's what if anything, people gonna watch that to see what Gotti's gonna do. He comes aggressively, he's gonna try to punch, he fights. He's a fighter, he just fights in it. He just throws punches like crazy. So it's gonna be entertaining that way.
Chris said, this ain't for me, Chief, but y'all have at it.
Got it.
In other news, with another legend in the game, I don't know if we talked about this last time either. That Tyson and Jake Paul fight got not canceled, but it got postponed to November 15th of 2024 because of Mike Tyson had some ulcer issues and whatnot. So y'all think this is a big deal with these ulcers, or do y'all think this is just a non-story with this fight being postponed? I'll start off with you, Chris.
It could be a big issue. Is that we don't even know if that's the true real story. That's just a story they gave us, but it could be something else as well. I mean, Mike ain't young, you know what I'm saying? So it might be buying some time to get him back in shape so he doesn't embarrass himself in that ring, But November's coming around the way anyway, so it gives him enough time and it gives him more time to promote the fight. So I think it's not bad.
Steve?
Well, if that is the case, and he's at his age and hasn't got ulcers under control now, let's hope that he's making an excuse, because we won't see anybody going through anything medically, but one hit in the bread basket, he's done if he has that. I mean, you got ulcers, you got a weak stomach. Hopefully that's not the case, and maybe people who analyze that maybe might see that as a weakness, body shots. From what I know, ulcers that's like your acid deteriorating your lining of your gut or something like that. So getting hit in the body is not good if you have ulcers. So hopefully that's not the case.
I don't know, man. Like Chris said, we may not know the whole story with this, and like both of y'all said, Tyson's up there in age. I don't know. They had to do this fight in Texas too, and maybe other states wouldn't have cleared Mike Tyson because he's so old to box. Like, you got to be careful in there, because we've seen in boxing, like, you can lose your life in the ring, and Mike's pushing 60. So I just hope that they are telling the truth, what's really going on with him. We want him to be safe out there. But Jake Paul is 25, 26. He's a young buck. He could go in there and hurt Mike. People are in love with nostalgia, and people think they're gonna see the old Mike Tyson 88 ferocious, but he got Father Time is undefeated, So we'll all be watching. It's a Netflix fight, but let's hope Mike is safe, and I guess we'll have to wait and see how it plays out in the next couple of months. Like Chris said, November is right around the corner, so I'm sure we'll all be entertained once it does get here. But fellas, let's go on some of these quick hits from fights that happened in between now and the last show. Dmitry Bivol, he was scheduled to face Beterbiev, and we actually previewed it, but we cut that out of the show because the fight got canceled. But
Mm-hmm.
he faced Malik Zanad instead a couple weeks ago out there in Saudi Arabia. And this was an interesting fight because early on in the fight, Bivol, he seemed pretty like he was kind of going through the motions. Maybe he was downloading information, but then in the 6th round, he picked it up and got him out to pay TKO 6th round. And he's still your light heavyweight champion. I'll start for you, Chris. What were your thoughts on this one?
Actually, it was action-packed in the beginning. Yeah, it was a little bit more. I thought he threw, like, to my eyes, watching as a boxer, I was like, I thought Bivol was gonna go in there and just run through this guy. You know what I'm saying? But actually, it was a more action-packed fight. The guy was feeling loose, got one hand up. I'm like, oh, put your both hands up. You're fighting a real competitive in front of you. But he was feeling comfortable jabbing him out. He was actually doing pretty well for me watching it. And then the 6th round, like you said, I think he just downloaded the fight and just really kept the aggressiveness going. And once he got him against the ropes and a couple of times, like it was just like, all right, he's walking him down. You could almost see the incoming. I thought it would come like 2 in the 8th. I thought he was going to get ready to knock him on the 8th. That's why I pictured it at, but I didn't think he would get him out there in the 6th. But he did. He got him out there in the 6th.
Steve?
Yeah, that's what I saw when I saw the fight. Very engaging. I guess you download the whole fight, but it wasn't a jab, then footwork, walk around, and it was a punch engagement after punch engagement, and it wasn't just a counter shot, one shots. They were throwing 3 combinations after landing one shot. It was very engaging, and learning Bivol as a new fighter, to me, paying attention, and having a clear slate of not knowing 2 fighters, I'm like, well, this looks like a back and forth fight, and dude was still in there with him. But that later round, he turned it up, and you can tell, like, I want to finish this. It's like y'all said, a download, and that's basically what I saw, and he got him out of there. And I will say, Zanad is his name.
Yep.
Yeah, I say he has heart for staying in there and face to face with him like that.
For sure. Bivol did Bivol things, and this rematch, I think, is scheduled for the 4th quarter of the year. Not this rematch, well, the title unification, my bad, is set for the end of the year with Artem Beterbiev. But Beterbiev is that monster, so with Bivol basically just getting a warm-up match, Chris, you think he has a chance with Beterbiev? Because Beterbiev does not go to the decisions. He gets you out of the paint. So, but you think Bivol has a shot?
Everybody got a shot. I mean, it's going to be a good fight. I'm actually looking forward for that fight, to be honest with you. That's one of the fights I'm looking forward to. Hopefully they can pull it off. He's going to have to do a lot of downloading. This guy, he's going to be in front of someone that's going to be punching him all day, being his gut, continuously just coming forward. I think he's gonna have to use the ring a little bit more, use his jab a lot more. But he's gonna have to. I think he can figure it out, but it's gonna be tough. It's one of the fights I'm looking forward to, definitely, this year.
For sure. So I'm excited for that too. You don't see a lot of undisputed title unifications a lot in boxing, so when it happens, it's always a big deal. So we'll be looking out for that one. But let's talk about another fight that happened out there in Saudi Arabia. This got moved to the main event since Beterbiev couldn't go out there. Deontay Wilder losing in the 5th round to Zhilei Zhang. And this is kind of sad, fellas, man. Deontay Wilder didn't look the same. He was trigger shy. He's not been the best boxer. Like, he won't outbox you, but that power, he has that equalizer, and he didn't seem to want to pull the trigger on that. He was a little bit trigger shy, as I was saying. He just got put to sleep in that 5th round. What were your thoughts on this one? I'll start with you, Chris.
You know what? He was fighting a good opponent. His opponent is not no walk in the park. Really good fighter. Actually looked bigger than Wilder, like in the ring to me. Like, as I was watching it, even though Wilder might be taller or something, but physically, size-wise, just the punching, like he just looked way bigger, way stronger. Like he can just like not toy with Wilder, but he was controlling the fight to me. I just seen more like, oh shit, Wilder's in some trouble right now. So on that note, but Wilder's up there in age. He's been fighting for a long time. Both of them have been fighting for a long time, to be honest with you. But Wilder really hasn't showed us nothing like spectacular in a while. He's pretty much a one-hitter quitter. And when you fight against people that are boxers, you really don't get that one hit or quitter out. So you got to pretty much come with a boxing match, and Wilder fought a boxer. So it was gonna be a long night for Wilder anyway. I felt.
Steve.
Yeah, I felt like anytime Wilder he fired shots was when he was basically put in the corner and actually couldn't do. He was actually getting smothered, so it was really to get him off him and not to fire off his his hard shots on his terms. And I saw through the fight when I think he got caught maybe once or twice, and he did the same thing that got him knocked out. He turned. So I don't know if that's and he's not a total new person, but if that's a bad habit for an early fighter with experience, if he's not used to getting hit and he turns like that, like that hurt. But I think they said it was a 45-pound difference. He was 214, so I think that was a mistake too. Considering Tyson Fury fight, and then considering I think that was a way major difference weight than the Tyson Fury fight, so. That was a plus. And then you're talking about a dude who had nice, beautiful timing. When I first saw it, I didn't see the initial KO or the shot that got him dazed. But if they replayed it, and he has amazing timing. He threw that right as soon as he threw his. And I think he will be a good fight for the future for maybe even I would say in Tyson Fury. And I don't know if you all talking about that later now, but I think that would be a good fight for Tyson Fury. The Zhang who just won.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with that. That would be a good one, but I don't know. It looks like Fury has his eye on that rematch. So we'll see what happens with that. But going back to Wilder, so y'all think this is like the end of an era? Y'all think this is it for him? Because I feel like we missed out on a lot of big fights that could have happened between Fury and Joshua and Wilder. Like all three of them fighting, the only ones that really fought were Wilder and Fury. We didn't get to see Wilder Joshua. We didn't get to see Joshua and Fury. So y'all think this is it? Like y'all think Wilder's gonna retire? I'll start for you, Chris.
I don't know. He's a warrior. That's one thing I respect about Wilder. He's a warrior. He wants to fight. I don't know if he wants to sit down and put the gloves down, but financially, he seemed like he made a good purse in the game where he can kind of walk away. It's really hard when you make a purse like Wilder and then continuously convincing yourself that you want to get punched in the face. Like it's hard to train when you can just go on vacation for the rest of your life. You can live in these nice homes and live a luxury lifestyle and just convince yourself that, I should have this fire to keep going after it. So I don't know if he still has that in him, but he has the body, he has the type. He still can be competitive. I mean, because he lost to good fighters. It's not like he's losing to like people that just came out the ranks are just coming up. He's losing to good fighters. So let's not get that. Like these guys is all that he's fighting against are A-level fighters as well that can compete with anybody on this stage. So he's not losing to people that are like C-level fighters. That's my opinion.
Steve?
I say he has decisions. I'm more leaning towards just for his skill and how he's been losing lately and not capitalizing on big fights. And even on fights on lesser known fighters like the guy he fought not too long ago. I'm leaning towards maybe so, but then again, every fighter has a dog in him, and I was wondering if he has a body type to where he's just stuck in between light, heavy, and heavyweight. Because he's always almost significantly outweighed. Always outweighed.
You got cruiserweight 200. He probably could make it there. I'm surprised he didn't try to fight it because, like you said, he came in like 213. That'd be an easy cut to 200. But everybody wants the glory of the heavyweight division. But WBA and I want to say WBC have that 225 division. It's the bridgerweight division or super cruiserweight. One of the organization calls it. I'm surprised, but he might be too light for that.
Yeah,
if he's fighting at 213, he would have been perfect for a cruiserweight. But like I said again, everybody wants the heavyweight glory. But yeah, I don't know as far as his mentality where that goes. But he's been flirting with retirement after this fight. His mom wants him to retire. In a perfect world, if he doesn't retire, who would y'all want to see him go up against next? I'll start with you, Chris.
AJ, man, come on.
Oh, you want to still want to see him and Joshua? I think
Why
Joshua
not?
probably on the bigger and better things after beating Francis Ngannou. I think he probably wants something bigger. But
Yeah, but that still would sell a fight. I think who's gonna sell that fight better than those two right now? That's must watch TV still.
okay, I wouldn't be mad at that. But yeah, I don't know if Joshua wants that fight. What about you, Steve? What would you like to see Wilder go up against next?
I can't significantly think about for real like anybody that could, or a known fighter that would. Like he said, Joshua, that would have been an interesting fight. But like I said, who wants to drop down their prestigious with somebody that just lost and losing their, prestigious in heavyweight? He might feel like he's, setting the bar down by fighting Deontay after his loss. But it would be a good fight. Of course, the other fighters that are up there, I don't think we've seen a lot of Tyson Fury and Deontay, so I don't know if they would rematch that. I just wouldn't know.
So I got a couple fighters. I don't know what y'all think about this. Another fighter just came off a loss. Two big brutes going in there. Wilder's more slender, but what about Francis Ngannou versus Wilder?
I didn't think you would entertain that. I thought of that.
Yeah, that was so.
Yeah. And what about Andy Ruiz versus the Wilder?
And he's always gonna sell a fight, so I think that would be a good run for him too, as well.
What do you think about that, Steve? Andy Ruiz versus Wilder?
I would definitely be interested in it. Yeah, you really can't say that's a throw fight for anybody to say who would win that. It'd be shorter person versus longer. I mean, they both have potential. It would just be a good matchup. But the Wilder and the Ngannou fight would just stylistically seem more of a, entertaining. But those are two good choices.
Yeah. So if he does retire, shout out to him for having a really good career. But if he continues to fight, man, we'll keep an eye out on how he maneuvers in the future. But one more quick hit before we get into last night's fights. Chris's boy, Adrien Broner, went in there under. I'll talk about this, the promotion of this in a little bit, but he lost by unanimous decision to Cobb, and I don't know, man. He did not look good in this one. Very timid, not throwing volume at all, getting popped. He was getting touched with that jab, and this was a bad outing for Adrien Broner. What were your thoughts on this one, Chris?
AB took two losses, man. Lost a tooth and lost a fight.
That tooth. Yeah, he lost a tooth. Good for. I'm glad you pointed that out. But go ahead.
AB's my boy, but he went in that fight. It looked like a sparring match for him. Like he didn't go in there like trying to, like, to me, I just checking him out, watching how he was moving, just like, what I mean? It just looked like he was sparring in there. Like it didn't look like he was going in there and trying to knock him out. It looked like he was just trying to, like, I don't even think he was even trying to survive. Like I've seen Adrien Broner get in that ring with Madonna and was in survival mode and just fighting for his life, just trying to stay survival. So it wasn't that. It just seemed like it was a regular day in the gym for him. It just was like, oh shit, I got caught. Boom. All right, I'm gonna try to get this punch back. He didn't seem aggressive enough for me. And he's never really been aggressive since he's moved up in weight. Like last time we seen him really aggressive was in the 30s, 32, I think, 132. Once he moved up to like 135, 140, it just seems like he slowed down his aggressiveness. That's when we loved him at 132 when he's knocking everybody out. But when he got to that 140 and this weight, he's just been real sluggish. Like it just seemed like sparring to me. It didn't seem like he was in there trying to knock the guy out or try to go for it.
I agree with all of those sentiments. What are your thoughts on this, Steve?
It's funny you say that. I had exact conversation like how Adrien Broner was fighting, sparring, and of course when you spar, you want to spar like skilled people, but it only makes sense like if you were to spar, it would come out to a close decision. Just thinking of it maybe common sense wise, and I think he has that mentality to match punches or keep up. Oh, he's got 2. Let me get 3, and playing that game. And that seems like his whole last fights. And it seems like he doesn't want to be the fighter to push away. And only time I saw a glimpse of him is when he got his tooth knocked out. And then he got up and got mad for like a good 15, 20 seconds. And then he died back down and started fighting like he did. I was like, well, he got aggressive after he got his tooth knocked out. But he needs to do that the whole fight. And I think that's what he's been missing after his career fall down after Maidana.
What's up with your boy Chris? Like, how do you get his tooth knocked out? Like, bad dental plan or bad mouth guard? Like, what's going on?
I don't know what those veneers that he got. I'm sure he got some nice teeth. I know he's gonna get some new, fresh ones in there, looking all shiny, like how I'm looking right now. But those ain't veneers, is real. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's just, I think he's talented. I think he had the talent to be better than what he became. Unfortunately, what happened to him. I don't know the guidance on the people he fought in the game. That played a big role in how he came up to his stardom. But it just seemed like he just like we see it, he just doesn't go on the gas. I mean, the punches that he did at the lower weights would have knocked these people out. But now that he's in the higher weights, he got to throw more value, and he's not throwing it. Like he's still throwing a little bit of punches, and he's knocking those guys out on a lower weight class. But when you go up, you got to throw a little bit more, So, but like I said, I never see him get knocked out. Every time he falls to the floor, he gets back up. So I always respect him as a warrior. I never seen him, quit, throw the towel in. So I'm always gonna respect him for that. That's one of the things I do like about him. He never quits. Even if he's down, he always keeps going forward.
So I got a question for both of y'all. Do y'all think Broner is probably the biggest wasted potential as far as his projection? Because he was in the game, he was Floyd's he was like Floyd's protege or whatnot, and he just never really lived up to potential. And nobody could be Floyd. It's a perception where if you lose and your career is over, you could take losses, but it seems like Broner just never put it all together to win the big one. Like Chris said, he has all the talent in the world. He may have went up weight class too fast, but he lost the big one to Sean Porter, lost the big one to Mikey Garcia, lost the big one to Manny Pacquiao. He could just never get over that hump and reach his full potential. So I'll start with you, Chris. What are your thoughts on that?
He got lucky with the marketing too. The marketing behind him at that time, boxing was looking for the next Floyd, and he came with some talent. I think he got in trouble before he was supposed to go to the Olympics or something like that. So he had to turn pro, and then they just marketed him. And then in our eyes, he's a good salesman himself. Shout out to him for that. And, we love seeing him. So, he put himself there, but was he ever really there? No, he didn't fight anybody to make him that way. We just put him there because his marketing abilities. But talent wise, every loss that he took, his losses are his fault to me because he's not throwing enough punches. It's not like he's losing a fight. They're not beating him. Like the Sean Porter, he dropped Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? The Pacquiao, he just got all punched. A lot of those fights that he lost, he ain't throwing enough punches to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's taking a lot of damage. He could take a hit. I seen him get dropped, come back up, lose a teeth, come back up. So it's not like he can't fight. It's just that he don't throw enough punches, and that's what we see. You know, you just can't. Only person that can do that we seen is Floyd Mayweather get away with that, where someone can throw more punches than Floyd, but Floyd wins a fight. I think Adrien Broner try to adopt that, but that's not really what we see in the ring. You know, we just see him catching the worst end of that, where Floyd's dodging most of those and getting out the way, and it seems like he's not being aggressive. So he's trying to mirror that. I think that was his fallback on that. I think that's his only issue I've seen, that him trying to mirror Floyd, where, you know, I don't need to throw these. If I land a cleaner shots, it looks like I'm winning, where it doesn't really it don't transition to that when we watch the fight with him. And I think that's what he sees. I remember him losing a Pacquiao fight. He felt like, oh, I should have won that. And I'm looking at him like, I get what you mean by you thought you should have won, but honestly, you didn't throw enough punches. Like, you got to look at it different. You're not Mayweather. So that's the problem.
What do you think, Steve? Wasted potential or not?
I would say, yeah, based off of Mayweather's expertise opinion. And I think Mayweather stopped messing with Broner is because you know, those moments to where he probably didn't even see deterioration in his skills, but he probably saw the worth ethic and attitude, and probably saw in the future, because I think you know, Mayweather can do that. Just look at your skills or see your behavior, because it comes 2 and 2. You know, mindset. You know, not drinking, totally focus on boxing, not just rapping. And he decided to take his energies in other places while not doing that after boxing. And to be a champion like Mayweather, man, he's possessed and obsessed with the sport of boxing, to where, you know, he was obsessed with boxing and being a star and a rapper. And you don't see too many boxers go outside their boxing career in the same sentence as being a champion. So I think that was his mistake.
So I agree with that, Steve, about the work ethic. And I'm gonna ask Chris, like, Chris, you saying that the actual fighting, he wasn't putting down the volume, and maybe that's attributed to him going up. What about the work ethic that Steve was talking about? Like, you see Adrien Broner partying and rapping. Like, Floyd Mayweather lives a flashy lifestyle, and on the outside looking in, it may look like he's not dedicated, but everybody knows Floyd was dedicated. He didn't drink, he trained hard, but Broner seemed to not train hard like that. So what do you got to say about like work ethic and whatnot, Steve?
Yeah, Broner lives 2 lives, you know. He's always out of shape. Like, after this, he's gonna get out of shape. We're gonna see him with a beer belly, and then when he has another fight, he's gonna be back with a 6-pack, losing all the weight. You know, he just doesn't stay in shape year round. He's not in the gym every day. I think he's at a pro level where he only trains for when he's ready to fight, and that's why I think holding him back. He's not in the lab every day. That's why I see. That's how I believe it as, because he's out of shape. So if he's out of shape, that should show me that he's in the lab every day. Because if he's in the lab every day, he wouldn't get that much out of shape. It might be 15 to 20 pounds overweight, would that be easy for him to lose? But he'd be looking like he's like 30 pounds out of shape from the fight. You know, like when you see him, like, oh, we got a big belly. Then come fight night, he's right slim and you know, that takes a toll on you. Fight after fight after fight after fight, where you got to keep losing weight, and mentally drains you out. Like, now you're not just training for the fight, you're training to get in shape. You're training to get back into the rhythm of things. And yeah, a lot of it's muscle memory, because even I can go to the bag and hit it and look like I'm a superstar, but it comes to, like, you know, doing it every day and just look at like it's professional. But I don't think he has that in him. And he made money early. He got famous early. So it's like, again, it's hard to keep this up when you're famous, but when the bank account slows down and you need the bread, you got to get back in there. You got to stay in shape. So that's why I see my man AB all about billions and stuff. You know, my man, that's my boy. Still fucking.
I don't know if he's all about billions anymore or about bullshit at this point, but
that's my boy.
But yeah, I mean, the clock is ticking. He's no spring chicken, so he got to put it together, or, you know, like I said, Father Time is undefeated. He's 34, about to be 35 next month. So,
oh, he's a gatekeeper now.
Well,
He's gatekeeping right now, and that's not a bad thing to be. I know. I mean, that's a check in your pocket, and
Yeah.
you know, and he ain't getting knocked out. So at this point, he's getting a check, not getting knocked out. We always say the same thing about him. He's not throwing up punches, so he's just a gatekeeper now. I feel.
You might be right, but you just hate to see so much talent go to waste. But like you said, gatekeeping, there's nothing wrong with that. You can still get your chicken, you can still get your check, and keep it moving. But I guess we'll see how he moves in the future. But fellas, let's talk about the fights from this past weekend, last night to be exact. The co-main event, we had David Benavidez defeating Alexander Gvozdyk by unanimous decision, and I thought through the early rounds of this fight, Gvozdyk showed good movement and he was utilizing the jab, but Benavidez was landing some power shots, especially in that fourth and fifth round. Like, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a short night. But in the second half of the fight, you kind of saw Benavidez slow down and the volume wasn't as much as he usually known to throw in the second half of the fight. He still outlanded Gvozdyk, but kind of cruised to a decision victory. And what were your thoughts on this one, Chris?
Well, I think at the end of the fight, he said he hurt his arm. I'm not mistaken, right?
He did. He said. I think it might have been even through training. I know he said he got a cut as well. But what were your thoughts on the fight?
A lot closer than I expected to be. It was very action packed. I'm glad we got to see something like that. They show flashes of just, it was special. I thought it was good. It's where boxing want to be. You want to see the value punches. You want to see, the defensive stance, and you just didn't know what was going to happen later rounds. It went one way, then it turned to another way, and it's like, okay, well, we got to fight. Unanimous decision. I didn't, at that point, it could have still kind of flowed either way. It wasn't like, to me, like a convincing, oh yeah, he won it. Like he could have got robbed, you know what I'm saying? So I think he's gonna look at that. I think he's gonna sharpen up. I don't know how bad the injury was to his arm, but if that was the case, then he's fine. And if that was an injury problem, but they can run that back. Honestly, that was a good one.
Steve?
Yeah, when I was seeing it, more of the Benavidez, I was seeing that how do you spell that? Say that dude's name.
Gvozdyk, because he's silent.
Okay. Benavidez, I see he was more throwing those punches that actually hurt, to where I saw glimpses of Gvozdyk. He would do a few of those combination fast shots, but I've saw Benavidez, he did it a few times. Slip shovel hook leap, slip shovel hook leap, and he was landing that sucker all night. I felt like one of the first big shots of the night, and I don't think that Gvozdyk got as many significant shots as Benavidez from what I saw. I saw a lot of jabbing from Gvozdyk and a lot of technical fighting. But I saw Benavidez threw some shots to kill that made the crowd go ooh a lot of times, especially those dipping shovel hooks. Those to me, that's one of the prettiest punches to look at in boxing to me. But he was landing those, and as far as the technical side and see points, I could see how it could have been. What Chris said, it could have been a robbery or a very close decision. But me looking at it as a boxing fan, I thought Benavidez was doing enough as far as damage and those significant shots that you can see that hurts, which may have a good look on the judge's eyes. So I think maybe that's what got him. He was dipping in those hard shots.
So David Benavidez, known as the Mexican Monster, he's known for stopping people, but this was his first foray at 175. He usually fights at 168 at super middleweight. Do y'all think him fighting the bigger fighters and maybe not having, packing that same punch at a higher weight class had to do anything, had any impact on this fight? I'll start with you, Chris.
It always does. Them little bit of pounds means that you're fighting someone this a little bit more heavier as well, so they don't hit the same when you fight lower. I mean, that's bringing back to AB. AB looked special at the lower weight. Then he goes up, doesn't look as great. So that little bit of weight doesn't seem so much on the scale, but it makes a big difference.
Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's using your eyeball, science, it's crazy how somebody can go up and just can't translate power, but look so devastating. And it makes you question any fighter in boxing. And maybe that's why they question themselves if they so much Gervonta wants to go up, would his power translate? That's a big question. And for somebody to go up in weight class to actually prove that, I mean, it's a scary feeling. I think one of the famous shorts is when Canelo threw a nasty right at Golovkin, and he looked at him. He's like, "Oh shit, it's a long night."
Yeah,
And,
I remember that. Like, oh, and he took it and ate it.
Yeah. So for him to go up, and maybe he has to go back in the drawing board and maybe see if he wants to stay in that weight class. Because from what I saw, and now you're telling me, which I didn't know, he was in a lower weight class. That was some devastating. I'm like, damn, he dipped in that one and didn't even knock dude out. And it was a flush shot. I think it was on top of the head, one of the first ones. And that would mess somebody's equilibrium up, and he didn't. And so, yeah, maybe. And I forgot the question. That's all I was talking, but
him going up a weight class,
yeah,
not carrying that punching power up to higher weight class.
I think this fight, to where he looked dominant and looking confident and throwing those punches in front of his face, I think also he has to think about if he faces a good puncher at that weight class who likes to dip in like him and take him out, I think he may run into problems.
So after the fight, he got interviewed and they asked him about the weight class. He said he wants to continue to fight at 168. He wants to go back down and fluctuate between both the weight classes. So do y'all think he's better suited to go back to 168 and try to chase the Canelo fight, or try to face the winner of Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol? Which one y'all think you should do? I'll start with you, Chris.
Go down to Canelo. Don't stay away from them boys up there. No way. If you want my advice, stay away, big dog. Stay with Canelo, because that right there, I mean, and they go a little different. Both of them go a little different. Now you're gonna get paid on both fights. Don't get me twisted. He's gonna get paid on both fights, but they hit a little different. They used to that, They fight there. You know what I'm saying? So you I mean, go down to Canelo. Does Canelo even want to fight him?
That's what I was gonna say. Everybody was saying Canelo's ducking Beterbiev. They call him Mexican Monster for a reason. So so you think he should just try to chase that Canelo fight, even though Canelo seems like he's scared to fight him?
I think he should keep calling. I think that's his best bet. I mean, that's a money bag right there. Canelo, him, Mexican. They can pull that off. They can make some big money for the culture down there. Mexico City, here you come, or even Vegas. They can pull that off, make some big money.
What do you think, Steve? You think he should stay at light heavyweight or for his next fight, or go back down to 168? Because he said he wants to do both.
I would like I said, it's good fights. I was about to say which first off, I would say, Canelo's a more household name. So I would say do the one that gives you the most money. I feel his skill level is there at his peak. So I think he should go with the more household name. I don't know if marketing, if he's taking his chance on which way to market himself on which side of the globe, I guess that matters when you're asking who you're fighting. Canelo on the the western side, the Mexican, and where's Benavidez from?
He's from Phoenix, I want to say, but he's Mexican heritage.
So boom, that's a good fight right there. I would lean more towards Canelo just because I've seen Canelo fight, and Canelo's went up to himself, right?
Yeah, he went up to 175, and Bivol got him out. He didn't finish him, but he beat him. Bivol beat him at 175.
And I was about to say that's basically the same thing that happened to Canelo. All right, he went up and realized that his power wasn't translating as good as his middleweight status. So I'll say just stay in that middleweight, and it will make an exciting fight for people that for fighters that are used to being in their weight class.
Yeah, I'm with Chris said. Like, I don't think he wants to see those boys at 175 power as far as Beterbiev and B-Ball. So I think he should chase that Canelo bag. And if they were to fight, man, I think I got Benavidez, man, because like Steve was saying, like the shots he was catching, Vosdick would knock him 168er out. So I like his chances against Canelo, but he's an exciting fighter. So we're definitely gonna keep our eyes on him. But fellas, let's move on to the main event of this night. We had Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. And round one, Frank Martin seemed to be the more active fighter. He was landing more than Tank. Round two was close, but I think Tank started opening up. And then moving on to round four, I think Martin did a good job of maintaining his composure and sticking and moving, but you could just tell the power difference when Tank touched him. And around round five, Tank was walking him down, and Frank Martin did a good job of fending him off with that jab. But like in the previous round, I just think Tank has had the power advantage. And through round 6 through 7, I think both guys landed a good shot. It was a good back and forth between like the 6th and 7th round. And then when we moved on to round 8, Tank walked him down into the corner and was just landing those power shots. Boom, landed that big left hook, and it was good night, Irene. And Tank Davis gets the win by KO and retains that lightweight title. Chris, what were your thoughts on this one?
Tank's interesting. I mean, we just talked about bringing up your power from a lower weight up. This is what Tank does. We've seen him don't look so dominant in the fight against these I think 135 in the 40s.
Yes.
140s.
Yeah, this is at 135.
Yeah, so I think once he got up to the 135 and the 140s, he's not looking as dominant as he used to be, right? He's on a smaller size, but he is bringing the power there still, and that's what's impressive because I think the last 3 or 4 fights on the card, he's not even winning, but he's getting these guys out of there. You know, he's not letting it go decision. You know, it's almost like, oh, you can't let this go decision. I think his knockout rounds are like 7 through 9. He got to get you out there. If you can get past the 9th round, you might have a chance to beat him. You know, that's why I'm looking at my opponent because most of his fights, he's getting out jabs, he's getting out punch because he's so small compared to his opponent. That's why when he flirts and talks about going into 145, I just think like, nah, you can't even. You could barely make it at 140 if you fight someone that's devastating there, you know, or someone that's 145, 147 and goes down to 140. You know, to fight him, he has to drain him out because he's so small. But he brings the power, but he's just so small that he might not win the rounds. You know, he's not going to get to his opponent until real late. He has to gas him out, run him around the ring, gas him out. And then when he catches you, it's 9-9.
For sure. Steve, what were your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, it was looking competitive, you know, those first rounds. But I see Gervonta, he just walks his opponent down, and like you said, Chris, he doesn't look for a decision, and I think that's why it makes him an exciting fighter to look at, even as a fan. That is what a fighter is, and across combat, MMA, it's like, yeah, you get respect, but the deep fighters, you know, who are dog fighters, they look at fighting to end it, and that's what Gervonta does. And not looking for the scorecard, which is, I feel like, a purist. You know, he's not looking for a outside advantage, which to him, in his mindset, is a decision. You know, he's going to knock you out, and he brings it, and he backs what he says up, you know, before the fight, and backs it up. So I think he's a special fighter, and he was, as far as that hook over into the hook, he was landing that all night, and that's murder she wrote at the end of the fight and got him out of there. Like I said, and if he does go up, like you say, he can probably hang in there, but advantage is probably speed. I really want to ask who else is there out there to challenge him. As far as who I know in his weight class, like I said, there's a few, two at the top of my head, but he's a dangerous person in his weight class, and he proved it yesterday.
What's interesting about Tank is that the last 5 fights, we've seen different knockouts from different hands. It's not the same punch. Usually someone like, oh, you gotta watch the overhand right. You gotta watch the uppercut. He's used the uppercut. He used the body shot. We've seen him use the hook. We've seen him use like the overhand right. We've seen him use like different, like he's dangerous with both hands now. Like we're just looking at him like, oh shoot, he's dangerous with both hands. We knew he was call him Tank for a reason, but he's dangerous with both hands. We're seeing the combination. He can knock you out with anything. Like if he sees the opening, now we're seeing the boxing in him. I think now we got to pay attention to his boxing skills, because now we're seeing that he's getting to your weakness and he's gonna find that weakness in you, and then he's using his talent to knock you out. What he needs to do. So I'm impressed with that, because not the one like before. He was getting his guys out of there because he was quicker, faster, but now he's figuring out your weakness. Like the Garcia fight, knew he had a bad rib, whatever the case, man. I'm gonna get this body shot. I'm gonna get to him. Boom. Knew this guy, he can hit him with the hook. I'm gonna get this hook off. I'm gonna get to him. Boom. So he's taking advantage of his talent, what he got for his power, and he can knock you out with both hands. I love it.
Oh, for sure. He's got talent in both hands, like you said, to piggyback that sentiment. But going back to what you said earlier, Chris, I don't think he should try to rush up to 140 or 147. He would not probably fare well at that. But touching on what Steve said, what's next for him? So let's get into that. I think he would be better served staying at 135. And if he does that, 2 opponents, that because a knock on him has been his strength of schedule, so to speak, that he hasn't really faced anybody. But he got Garcia out of there. That's a name. Frank Martin's no slouch. He just got him out the paint. But what about like a Shakur Stevenson? Because Stevenson's got a fight in a couple weeks. Stevenson came up from 125, 128, and now he's at 135 as well. So would y'all like to see him face Shakur Stevenson or a Lomachenko? Either one of those, think y'all think that would be a good matchup? I'll start with you, Chris.
He being Lomachenko easy.
You think easily?
Yeah, he gonna knock Lomachenko out.
Lomachenko looked good his last fight.
He gonna drain. The thing about Tank, he gonna make him fight at 135. Get him out there. Lomachenko's old. He ain't young. He old too.
Hey, you trying to call us old, Chris? We both.
I'm old, man. That's why I don't get in that ring. I'm old. You kidding me? I'm not looking in that ring. I look at that ring and walk right past it. Like, yo, good job, young fella. I be at the gym. Good job, young fella. Yeah, keep doing all that. Do all that. I ain't getting in there. I'm sparring. I don't even know what my sparring helmet, my gear is at. I don't even know what that's at. I don't even know what bag that's in. I just bring in the gloves and that's it. I ain't touching nobody hitting me in the face. That's over with. We old. But nah, Stevenson would be good, but I don't think them boys want to fight Tank. I think they thought they wanted to fight Tank, but real talk, them boys don't want to fight Tank. I never felt Tank was dodging him. I don't think Tank is a dodge. Like, he don't even go after the belts like that. Like, I don't think he's been dodging them. If the money's right, he gonna do it. But I don't feel like for him, like Stevenson, honestly, he has the name. He's a new young prodigy, but who has he fought?
Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, who has he fought?
What was his last fight?
He fought that Dominican guy that was
yeah.
But I'm saying, like, what's his resume? Who has he fought?
That's a good point. He's got 21 wins. His last fight was against Edwin De Los Santos, like you said, and then Yoshino. I mean, not a lot of big names on his resume either.
And it's almost like it feels bad for him, because this is the thing about boxing. There's too many belts, because this is what Spence was going through when he first came in the game. Because Spence was dangerous coming off the Olympics as well. And nobody was fighting him, and he was trying to get this big fight, but nobody was going to fight him. No one's trying to fight him. Not like people were scared, just that no one's fighting him until he got the matches he needed. But he ain't really fighting nobody. I think Tank could it'll be an interesting fight, I guess, but I think Tank will actually beat him. I don't think he has the talent to beat, because we say Tank don't fight nobody, but at 132, I think he was fighting a lot of fighters down there that were actually really good. I seen him. What's that Mexican fighter that he knocked out with the uppercut that was devastating by the ring?
Was that Cruz De La, was it Cruz?
Yeah, that
De La?
guy was a monster down there. Everybody that he fought was a monster. So it wasn't like Tank wasn't fighting people. He got some names under his belt. So it's like for Tank to fight Stevenson to me got to fight a Garcia, got to fight got to fight somebody else before they go to Tank. That's how I feel. Like if I'm Tank, like you gotta go somewhere else first before you come to me.
Yeah, Leo Santa Cruz. Yeah, Leo. That's Leo. I think you're talking about that Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah,
fight.
that was devastating. I didn't think Tank was gonna. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh shit, Tank's for real." Because that uppercut was devastating.
Wow, for sure. So what do you think, Steve? You think like a Lomachenko fight or a Stevenson fight would be the way to go for Tank?
Definitely. I have to look. Although I've seen Stevenson's, I've seen a lot of Lomachenko's, but probably not enough analysis. But I would say that Lomachenko would be a good fight, considering Lomachenko is a so to speak, what type of fighter? A counter sort of move and footwork and bobbing and weaving versus Tank going in for the kill. So I think that would be maybe a stylistic matchup, maybe just thinking about it. Stevenson, I think that would be a good fight too, because not only that, like you said, Lomachenko, you said he's getting older and he's been around, but had his losses, and Stevenson's on the rise. So you always want to go for the person on the rise, unless the other person just left off on a good, noticeable win. So I think maybe leaning towards the Stevenson.
So Chris is saying that he doesn't want to see him go up. I think 147 is definitely out of question. But what about 140 and with his peers like Devin Haney and Teofimo up there, 140? I wouldn't like to see him face maybe one of those dudes. I saw you, Chris.
But the thing is, I feel like Tank's gonna have to drain him. Like there's gonna be a catch weight at the end of the day. They're not gonna fight at their normal weight. Like it just doesn't seem like, I'm not saying it's not fair. Yeah, we would want to see it. I think they'll sign up for it, but it's just like you want people to come into the fight and come in naturally. You want them to come in the next day naturally. Then there's no chase, there's nothing, there's no behind the scene type of activities going on, So I just feel like for me with Tank, I don't think it don't transition well if they can come up, if they can walk in that joint at 140, then the next day they can go in there at 155. They got some meat on them after that. They went to the steakhouse, they don't got some meat in them, got some protein. So it's a long night for Tank. Cause Tank's little, man. Tank's a little guy. So if he can drain you out and you're in a catch weight, or if you're fighting at 135 and you keep it and the max you probably go from 135 to like 142. Tank to me is going to he's probably the next day at 146 or something. Maybe the next day he hydrates to that weight. So he is even, but at 140, I don't think it's going to be even for him. Just me looking at his body type, he's so little and he's draining himself as well. I don't think it's going to I don't think he's going to match well.
So Steve, would you think he'd fare well against like a Devin Haney at 140?
No, possibly, since hearing Devin Haney's last fight and talking about the upbringing to the fight to where his power and would it translate. I would say out of all the fighters that maybe a weight class heavier, maybe Haney would be possibly a person to where he can fight without being in too much danger. But like y'all said, maybe they have to be drained, and we don't see Gervonta, I don't think, anytime soon going up.
Yeah, I think he still maybe able to carry a little pop up to 140. 5 pounds is a big difference when you're at those weight classes, but I don't know, man. He just seems like a mini Tyson in there, and definitely not 147. But you never know. You never know. Like Chris said, he probably have to drain those guys, but I would be interested in it. But I think he could just dominate 135 as well. He could do whatever he wants at this point. The world is his oyster at this point. But it was definitely a fun fight, and we'll keep a lookout on what Tank does in the future. Like I said, he's kind of got that Tyson aura as far as like knockout power, and he's a fun guy to watch. It, his moments go viral, so definitely entertaining. But fellas, winding the show down, and we got some good fights ahead of us in the next few months or so, or weeks, I should say. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez facing Steve Claggett. He's defending that 140 belt. You got Shakur Stevenson racing Artem Haratutai Union. That's at 135. But a fight that I want to preview, we got our guy Bud Crawford on August 3rd he's going up a weight class. He's going to 154 to face Israel Madrimov. And Madrimov, he's only got like 10 or 11 fights on his belt, but is already a world champion in a major organization. And looking at his highlights, he's got some pop to his punches, but we know how Bud Crawford gets down, and he's number one pound for pound on a lot of people's lists. So, Chris, what do you think Crawford has to do going up a weight class to get this belt in another weight class? What do you think the keys for him to get this victory over a heavier guy?
Beat Crawford. I've seen him go up. This is like he started at 135. He's been going up. Nothing. Yeah. It's nothing. I was shocked that he's bringing it's not even that he's bringing a power with him. The boxing skills is will. Like I never seen, like he's to me the best because he can go left or right hand and knock you out with both. Like this is the only fighter I ever seen that can go like, oh, this ain't working. All right, let's go left-handed on you. And then just still like fight like a regular, like it's like a regular fight. So you can't even like prepare for Crawford, to be honest with you, because this is the heart. He got the stamina. He's in shape. He can hit you with both hands. He can switch up with you anytime he doesn't feel like, I'll go lefty, I'll go righty on you. Like he just got to be himself, and he's gonna win this. Just outboxing a guy if he wanted to.
So you talk about Lomachenko being old. Crawford's older than Lomachenko, so if he does go there and get the belt, you think he should probably try to hang it up after this, or like maybe try to chase a Canelo fight?
I want to see the Canelo fight. I think they can get that going. The thing about Lomachenko came in the game late because he's been fighting them amateurs fights to his late 20s. He's been an amateur for so long. He got like almost, I don't even know, I'm sure over 300 amateur fights and all those Olympics and stuff like that. So he never turned pro late. Crawford and guys been pros for a long time. So that's the difference between Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko lost his first pro fight because he fought against, I think, that Mexican guy, and he just got out. Like fighting pros and fighting amateurs is different. You gotta learn the game. So just on that note, that's why I talk about Lomachenko like that. But Lomachenko's, he's spectacular. There's no knocks on him right now, nothing. But Crawford's just a different animal. He's just, like I said, I don't even know how you prep for him. I don't even know. Like I don't even know what to tell. Like if I had a guy that had a fight, I don't even know what to say. Like best of luck, man. Let's just go and let's not try to embarrass ourselves in front of the people. Like he's just so talented.
For sure. You made a lot of good points, but I'm gonna go around the room and get everybody's official pick for this one. I'll start with you, Chris. Who you got, Crawford or Madrimov in this one?
Crawford decision. If not, probably knock him out by the knife.
Okay. Who you got, Steve?
Crawford, definitely.
Okay. I'm gonna go Crawford, of course, but I'm gonna go late round, 11th round, TKO. He gets him out of the paint.
That's too long.
You don't think? You think that's earlier?
Yeah, that's too long. That's way too 11. That's too long.
Oh, we'll see. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in. Like I said, it's on August 3rd, and it's good fights in between then as well. So we'll be back to do quick hits on those fights and recap the Crawford fight. But make sure to follow us on all social media platforms, Instagrams, the Twitters, YouTube. Subscribe to the Spotify and Apple. And thank you everybody out there for following us and supporting us. But that'll do it for us here at Haymaker Combat Sports. Until next time, be safe out there. Later.
This is Haymaker Combat Sports. Here, coming straight from the source. Only with the real, they ain't here to dress it up. Sweet Science MMA, you can get it all from us. Trust, 5 stars, cause it's live.